Arguments are important. When we argue with one another, we force each other to defend our positions. When you disagree with me, I have to articulate my position. I have to explain why I believe what I believe. Arguments are essential in life. They force us to really think about the lives that we lead and the choices that we make. In fact, the Mishnah in the Masechet Sanhedrin tells us that if the Sanhedrin reach a unanimous decision that a person should be put to death, then the result is that that person is not put to death. Why? And one of the reasons is given is because if everybody agrees, if everybody, all of the Sanhedrin all come to the same conclusion, if there was no one on the other side to defend this person who may or may not have killed another person, if there's no one to defend his position, then those who are prosecuting, those who put him to death, are never forced to articulate themselves. They're never required to defend their decision. And when you're not required to defend your position, when you just state it and no one argues with you, then it doesn't face a scrutiny of intellectual defense. If arguments are so important, if arguments are essential in life, then what went wrong in this week's parasha, in Parashat Korach? Why is it that this argument, the argument between Korach and Moshe Rabbeinu, went so badly? The Mishnah in Masechet Avot tells us that there are two types of arguments. There is an argument l'shem shamayim, an argument that has value, like the arguments in the Mishnah between Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai. And there are arguments that are bad, arguments that are not l'shem shamayim. And the example that the Mishnah gives is the arguments between Korach v'chol adato. This week's parasha, the arguments of Korach in this week that we will read this week. Well, what's the difference? What makes an argument good and what makes an argument bad? And this is a very important question because we all argue and the arguments are essential, and yet it can either be a great thing like Hillel and Shammai, or it could destroy the world like Korach v'chol adato. And the Baal Sfat Emet, the second Gera Rebbe, tells us something that's very simple, but it's very, very important in order to understand the difference between different types of arguments. And this is what he says. If we argue about an idea, like Hillel and Shammai, then we are partners together striving to find the truth. You think the truth is here, and I think the truth is there, but together we are striving to find out the correct answer. We are partners. We may disagree, but we are partners going towards the same goal. And that's where we are. That's l'shem shamayim, and that's going to last. But there's another type of argument. And this type of argument has got nothing to do with ideas, but it's got a lot to do with personalities. I just want to knock you down. I just want to prove you wrong. I want to be better than you. If that's what I'm arguing about, if it's just about me and you, and not about an idea, then the argument's not going to last. Then, sofa she'ena litkayem. That argument is not an argument that will last. That's the argument in Korach v'chol adato. So we find ourselves in a fascinating position. Why? Because arguments are essential. We need arguments. As the Mishnah we discussed earlier from Sanhedrin tells us, we need the argument in order to justify our positions, in order to be clear about what we believe, about that which is important to us. Arguments are essential, but you have to get it right. You have to argue about ideas and not about people. If the argument is about an idea, then we are partners together, making the world a better place. But if it's an argument about people, if it's about me against you, then that argument is like that of Korach, and that destroys the world. May we be blessed to always argue, and may our arguments always be l'shem shamayim, for the sake of heaven. Shabbat Shalom.